Time travel used to be thought of as just science fiction, but Einstein's general theory of relativity allows for the possibility that we could warp space-time so much that you could go off in a rocket and return before you set out. Stephen Hawking. I like physics, but I love cartoons. Intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. I would like nuclear fusion to become a practical power source. It would provide an inexhaustible supply of energy, without pollution or global warming. Life would be tragic if it weren't funny. There is no heaven or afterlife for broken-down computers. That is a fairy story for people afraid of the dark. I have noticed even people who claim everything is predestined, and that we can do nothing to change it, look before they cross the road. Not only does God play dice, but He sometimes throws them where they cannot be seen. Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. People won't have time for you if you are always angry or complaining. It is no good getting furious if you get stuck. What I do is keep thinking about the problem but work on something else. Sometimes it is years before I see the way forward. In the case of information loss and black holes, it was 29 years. To confine our attention to terrestrial matters would be to limit the human spirit. The universe is governed by science. But science tells us that we can't solve the equations directly in the abstract. The usual approach of science of constructing a mathematical model cannot answer the questions of why there should be a universe for the model to describe. Why does the universe go to all the bother of existing? One cannot really argue with a mathematical theorem. Issuing an insurance policy against abduction by aliens seems a pretty safe bet. If we do discover a complete theory, it should be in time understandable in broad principle by everyone. Then we shall all, philosophers, scientists, and just ordinary people, be able to take part in the discussion of why we and the universe exist. In the universe, it may be that primitive life is very common and intelligent life is fairly rare. Some would say it has yet to occur on Earth. Stephen Hawking. The people who actually make the advances in theoretical physics don't think in these categories that the philosophers and the historians of science subsequently invent for them. So long as the universe had a beginning, we could suppose it had a creator. But if the universe is really completely self-contained, having no boundary or edge, it would have neither beginning nor end. It would simply be. What place then for a creator? There are grounds for cautious optimism that we may now be near the end of the search for the ultimate laws of nature. Philosophers have not kept up with modern developments in science, particularly physics. The quietest people have the loudest minds. God abhors a naked singularity. The media needs superheroes in science just as in every sphere of life, but there is really a continuous range of abilities with no clear dividing line. Someone told me that each equation I included in the book would have the sales. My goal is simple. It is a complete understanding of the universe, why it is as it is and why it exists at all. I believe in universal health care. And I am not afraid to say so. Today we'll still yearn to know why we are here and where we came from. Humanity's deepest desire for knowledge is justification enough for our continuing quest. And our goal is nothing less than a complete description of the universe we live in. 1. Remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. 2. Never give up work. Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. 3. If you are lucky enough to find love, remember it is there and don't throw it away. My work and my family are very important to me. I enjoy all forms of music, pop, classical, and opera. God not only plays dice, he also sometimes throws the dice where they cannot be seen. The whole history of science has been the gradual realization that events do not happen in an arbitrary manner, but that they reflect a certain underlying order, which may or may not be divinely inspired. I'm not afraid of death, but I'm in no hurry to die. I have so much I want to do first. People won't have time for you if you are always angry or complaining. I think computer viruses should count as life. I think it says something about human nature that the only form of life we have created so far is purely destructive. We've created life in our own image. Even if there is only one possible unified theory, it is just a set of rules and equations. What is it that breathes fire into the equations and makes a universe for them to describe? It is not clear that intelligence has any long-term survival value. I have noticed that even those who assert that everything is predestined and that we can change nothing about it still look both ways before they cross the street. There is a real danger that computers will develop intelligence and take over. We urgently need to develop direct connections to the brain so that computers can add to human intelligence rather than be in opposition. Most sets of values would give rise to universes that, although they might be very beautiful, would contain no one able to wonder at that beauty. We only have to look at ourselves to see how intelligent life might develop into something we wouldn't want to meet. In Britain, like most of the developed world, stem cell research is regarded as a great opportunity. America will be left behind if it doesn't change policy. The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, it is the illusion of knowledge. We are just an advanced breed of monkeys on a minor planet of a very average star. But we can understand the universe. That makes us something very special. Science predicts that many different kinds of universe will be spontaneously created out of nothing. It is a matter of chance which we are in. I regard the afterlife to be a fairy story for people that are afraid of the dark. Time and space are finite in extent, but they don't have any boundary or edge. They would be like the surface of the earth, but with 2 more dimensions. Women. They are a complete mystery. Stephen Hawking.